All right, let's go. Kelly's going to talk about B2B surround sound. I love that framing. Set it off.
Awesome. I've got 7 minutes to take you through my first 7 weeks at Vector, which is
A minute a
this
week. Let's
campaign right
go.
here. We're just gonna tackle it. And honestly, we're mid-flight. Like, this campaign is live. It's already producing results, but we're still running it for a bit. So we'll report more on that as it develops. We developed a hypothesis around taking it from B to C, kind of the idea of surround sound strategy, hyper targeting towards your buyer persona. And we did it across connected TV, YouTube, LinkedIn. So I'm going to talk about how we set that up and some of the results that we saw. Our hypothesis was that surround sound towards a precise contact level audience with really sharp creative would produce pipeline. And it has for us. And actually in a month that we weren't expecting to have a lot of pipeline. So surround sound means showing up across multiple formats with a hyper targeted audience, contact level precision. And the unlock here is having one targeting layer that extends across multiple campaigns, multiple channels. So the setup for us is one core ICP audience across 4 campaigns. So when I say ICP, Vector has a data source of millions of contacts. And essentially we take that and we give it sort of the dimensions of who our buyer personas are, who are the people that would be interested in the type of things we solve for. I optimize for about 120 to 180,000 target size, just to control our spends and to try and get as much reach as possible. We ran connected TV via LinkedIn. Not a lot of people know that you can do that. The advantage of doing that is you get to use hyper targeting on LinkedIn's both native controls and with third-party audiences like Vector. And then we also use that same audience across YouTube ads, brand solution ads, thought leader ads. So we're using the same audience, hitting them with different messaging, different content, all at the same time, building kind of that surround sound idea. And then one other kind of pro tip is we also, because LinkedIn connected TV has a slight augmenting of the audience that gets included, we also got very tight on what we allowed and then retargeted those CTV viewers into our other campaigns as well. On the creative, so we had a couple of different angles that we went with it. The first thing is we worked with an agency. We spent about $35K to develop 4 videos. We felt really confident in those videos because they landed really well on organic. And also when we ran them in YouTube, we see complete for over 32%, which is fantastic for B2B. So that was kind of the anchor for a cold audience, is like we wanted to start with this that was really oriented around our brand tone. It was very humorous. The big theme was marketers will go at any length to get a lead. And then at the same time, we also hit them with our kind of brand solution ads and thought leadership ads. So at the same time, they're kind of getting credibility from thought leadership, but also learning about like really what our solution does in a more granular way. And I think these 3 play really well together, actually. But to me, the biggest thing, like we can talk about optimizing campaigns, we can talk about all the sort of things you need to do to be set up structurally, but creative is king, I think, in B2B in particular. And I think the reality is if you're going to show up everywhere, you better be worth watching. So we invested a lot of time into making sure our creative actually represented our brand well. And I think that's actually why it's doing so well. The results here, early but promising. We've had about 34% net new traffic. We've had about 22% increased sales demo requests and an increase of 41% on pipeline a month. We also delivered on premium channels in CTV. That's another kind of thing with LinkedIn that I really like. You have about 1,000 channels you can broadcast to through LinkedIn Connected TV, but you can also use inclusion and exclusion lists to really narrow that down to premium channels so that you know that you're hitting your ICP directly on the right kind of channels that provide the best kind of brand recall and brand affiliation. So the playbook is really simple to get started. Start with one core audience. We use Vector ICP to do that. Optimize at that 130 to 190 kind of scale. Invest deep in creative. And another thing to know there, that we not only do we have to budget kind of for the video itself, but we also budget for actor renewal rights. Something to just keep in mind. We can talk about that if anyone wants to hit me up on LinkedIn. Go multi-channel simultaneously. Close the loop on your retargeting to make sure that any kind of adjacent buyer committee that gets included in CTV gets retargeted as well. And then control your placements. So we handpick premium CTV channels, and you can learn more about that your LinkedIn marketing reps, or you can reach out to us. And then obviously, like, we try to measure what matters. So for us, like, we were looking specifically on the effect of how much traffic are we driving the website and how much of that traffic is converting into demos and pipeline.
So the link
I have some. Yeah, go ahead.
You do CTV directly. LinkedIn has a integration that you do it all through LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, exactly.
I was gonna
And
ask you,
actually, and
how do you retarget, like, who viewed your, if I'm sitting on my couch watching the golf on a Sunday and I see a vector ad, how do you know that I saw that and then you retarget me?
yeah, so you can build a retargeting list based off of who views your ads on connected TV directly through LinkedIn. So the two things to know about CTV is you build that on brand awareness as the core campaign objective in LinkedIn, but then as you have viewers that view it, you build a retargeting audience within LinkedIn as well.
Awesome, very cool.
Hey, Kelly, can you share with
Yeah.
everybody here the budget that we had on this? Because I think the assumption is you have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to do something like this.
Yeah, that's a great question. We were aiming to spend 30 to 60K on connected TV over a couple of months. We started seeing momentum pretty early, around 10K. And right now the campaign has spent about 15.
It's so interesting. This is just a meta observation. We've been doing these for a long time now. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years, host a million podcast webinars. Like, the number one question always is like, how much did it cost? Right? Whether it's a PR agency, LinkedIn ad, like, we just think budget first, I guess. It's like, that matters. What did it cost?
Well, I think part of it is like, could I do that? Is it like realistic for me to be able to do something like this? Do I have that kind of money? Right.
Yeah. I'm about to go fire up I'm about to growth hack some CTV Exit 5 ads myself.